Welcome back, everybody. I'm Vladimir. So we've got Path of Exile, and they are known for raising the bar, and they have done that once again. Settlers of Kalguur is the new league that is approaching us in a day and a half here, and it is jam-packed with a ton of content and a whole bunch of quality of life, which is amazing. It's actually almost like a new expansion. I can't wait to tell you guys all about it. So we're going to check that out today. And before we do, though, do me a favor, give it a like, give it a subscribe, and hit that notification button. That way you never miss a video when I drop one. All right, we're going to start things off. We're going to check the opening trailer. Let's go.
Rayclast is a cursed land. You'd have to be mad to settle here. And yet, welcome to King's March! It's not much yet, but with your help, we can erect the greatest city Rayclast has ever seen. We'll need resources and savvy planning. Soon we'll attract settlers, craftsmen, fortune seekers, and of course, pirates. But if we prevail, our ships will be heavy with gold. We hope to achieve the impossible. We hope to build a home.
All right, so clearly we have a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on in there, which is great. It looks fantastic, sounds amazing, the music's great. Love that. It's got kind of a Age of Empires, Heroes of Might and Magic feel to it with the building systems that are being brought in, which is fantastic. It's something innovative, something new, something Blizzard should take a look at and possibly maybe try doing something different themselves. Anyhow, this league right now, the way it stands, looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Looks like there's some major quality of life that is going to be new player and casual player friendly, which is something that is awesome, especially when they're coming up on dropping PoE 2, right? So we're looking at having this release on July 26th. And right now, according to my timer, we've got 1 hour or 1 day, 9 hours, 2 minutes and 44 seconds going. And as always, I'll be leaving a link down below for you guys to check this out for yourselves, or if you want to reread something that I've gone over, it'll be there for you as well. And so our July expansion introduces the Settlers of Kalguur Challenge League, a new trade market system for currency, which is something desperately needed, balance improvements, including 2 ascendancy class changes, and game improvements, and further additions to the campaign and some quality of life features. Some is an understatement, in my opinion. So the Settlers of Kalguur Challenge League, you'll encounter some familiar faces from the Expedition League. Danik, Rogue, Sujan, and Gwenin are seeking out resources in Rayclast that can be used to begin town construction and establish a shipping trade route to Kalguur. They have recruited many characters from Rayclast, including some you may recognize, but are also seeking the help of a powerful exile like yourself. And so they've got this kind of like town building feature that they're bringing in, and it just looks fantastic. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm curious as to how far the extent is going to go on this, because just in your home bases, you can in your hideouts, you can actually design quite a bit. So it's kind of interesting to see how this is going to play out. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so now we're gonna have to be collecting some resources. Obviously, if you're gonna build stuff, you need resources, right? So in order to do that, we got some crimson iron, which you're gonna have to liberate from demons or from it's overrun with corruption. So you're gonna have to fight for it. We got orichalcum, which that you'll have to liberate from the demons. My apologies. You might find Verisium, if I pronounce that correctly. So there's tons of resources that are going to be involved in this, which is fantastic. Very cool. So we'll be getting into that. The next part is how your town or settlement's going to work, and which is you're going to be managing workers, and they're going to be doing your building. They're going to be doing your work for you, stuff like that. And so you're going to have to hire them. You're going to have to pay them, and you're going to have to earn gold. And then as you're making gold, you're going to have to establish trade routes, and you're going to build your own harbor, which is really, really cool. So you're going to build a harbor and set up trade routes, and you're going to move things back and forth and make more gold. So the whole purpose is to make gold, because there's a lot that actually can be done with gold now. And we'll get into that. For those of you that are like running maps, I'm going to read this word for word here. Aside from shipping, the Kalguurans are big on their technology. They have hired Isla, an engineer from the Heist League. Once at endgame, Isla can help you build a series of Kalguurian modified map devices, which you can put into a queue of maps or put a queue of maps into. If you've hired a few skilled combatants, they will put themselves to work running those maps for you one after another. So you're going to be able to hire workers to actually run maps for you. How awesome is that? And so now we also got another crafting system. A rune smithing table is going to be added, where it's going to engrave rune magic into your weapons. There are many rune types, combinations to choose from. So there's all sorts of stuff going on here. The tech benefits apparently don't end there. We're also bringing back a community favorite recombination system. Isla is trying to master this. So this is where you can combine two items and hopefully get the best stats out of it, which is kind of a cool feature. This was well liked at one point. Now, one of the biggest features of quality of life that is being added right now is this new currency trade market. Okay, it's kind of like an auction house for trading currencies. One of the biggest pains in the ass of trading in the game of Path of Exile is that you would have to rely on somebody to be on. You have to go to the site, you have to make your bid, and you have to hope that person responds, or you have to be just messaging. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So this system is now all in game, and you'll be able to trade as long as the person's online and has something listed. You can do the trade right then and there. It's fantastic. This is something that is such a huge, massive quality of life. It's not even funny how much of a win this is. This is just a huge W. And going on, we're next. Also, you got to defend what you built. So as your town grows, you're gonna get bad guys that want to fuck you, screw with you. Excuse my language there, but yeah. So we're gonna attract attention. Well, obviously good and bad. So there's some bosses that are gonna come in. They might capture your settlers and actually try to ransom them off. So you got to decide whether or not you want to pay the ransom, maybe fight the guy, or you want to just let them die. That's up to you. And so next up, Gladiator Ascendancy class has gotten its rework, and I'm going to read this out for you word for word so I don't mess this up, okay? So the Gladiator Ascendancy class has received its longer-rated rework. Like before, there are passive skills that allow you to invest in bleeding and block. We've also designed new skills, replacing some of the old ones, and added a new branch which allows you to invest into retaliation skills, which are a new type of skill that allows you to unleash devastating damage upon meeting certain conditions in combat. And so they've highlighted some gems here like Eviscerate. We got Sword Storm and then Divine Retribution. So the whole class has got to rework, which is cool. On top of that, there's a new ascendancy called Warden. And we're introducing the Warden, a new ascendancy class that replaces the Raider Ascendancy. This class is largely inspired by its predecessor from the Affliction League with a few changes. The Warden focuses on elemental attacks, grants Bark Skin, nice, which can be used to mitigate physical damage from hits. Specializes in tinctures, which have been reworked and introduced to the game as a core item type that you can find throughout raid class. So tinctures are these, they're like buffs essentially that you can put on. It's like a potion and you pop, it's a buff. This gives you 87% increased elemental damage with melee weapons. One thing I do know is that you'll only be able to use one of these at a time. When one is active, there will be an active cooldown. All right, and moving on to the next thing that they've done, which is a massive overhaul to balance. And with that, I mean literally a massive overhaul. You'll have to read the patch notes to fully understand what they've done, but it is a wild how much crap they've actually managed to address and deal with. So I'm going to read this off for you here. So they've got drastic alterations to melee skills, block, rage, war cries, banners, bleed, impale, added a new base type damages to the game, buff modifiers on in-game items, buffed critical strike chances on weapons, and much, much more. So there, I went to go through some of the patch notes, and there is just way too much for me to cover in a video. I don't want to waste your time. Make sure you check it out. There's a lot going on in there. And then on top of that, they did a lot of endgame improvements. So we're changing many scarabs, adding a 6th map device slot, which is cool. Introducing exciting new counters in tier 16 and 17 maps, updating blight and ritual in endgame, and more. We've also added a set of new chisel types and massively increased the drop rate of Valdo's puzzle boxes. Very cool. So they have also added console native ports, which is going to improve the load times, visuals, all sorts of stuff on consoles. Now, one of the things that wasn't mentioned in this list that I do want to mention that is massively huge, especially for the casual player, was your talent tree. You can now respec with gold. So which means you'll actually be able to alter your spec and you're not going to just brick your class, which is really, really fantastic. This is something that is just more than a huge welcome change. Obviously, as you can see, there is tons of stuff coming up in this league. It's worth checking out. If you haven't played it before, now is your chance to get into it and check out what Path of Exile is really about and what a good game really looks like. Anyhow, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like and subscribe. And until next time, guys, keep gaming.